All right. Peace, family. And I'm going to tell you when you're live. Hold on.
All right.
You're live.
I'm live. Hey. Hey, loves. So my name is Cherette, and this week I'm going to be showing a simple limeade, an herbal limeade. And I chose to do this week because it's 420. And I love 420. So typically when we talk about 420, we only talk about one herb, and that hurts my heart. So you can get with herbs. It's a quick way to just build your immune system, get some healthy things in your diet. Just start to use herbs. You can cook with them. This is a refreshing drink. I used to drink lemonade growing up all the time, but it was doused with sugar. So this is my substitution for that, if you will. So in this, we have some mint, some rosemary, basil, limes. I like to use key limes. They're juicier and I like the taste of them better, and some ginger. So I'm going to show you guys what those look like. This is ginger. In order to prepare it, I soak everything in water, a little bit of baking soda and vinegar, or just vinegar. And then I rinse that off and dry it out. So that's the ginger. Once you do that with the ginger, you do want to peel it because you see all the griminess in there. So you peel it, and then I actually take this through a juicer. Now, if you don't have a juicer, you can go ahead and put it straight in the blender with the herbs and it'll blend it up. But I'm fancy. And then this is what rosemary looks like. This is fresh rosemary. So in order to put it in the blender, I did want to show you guys how to do it. You don't want to put stems in. So you just take it from the top and literally push it down and the rosemary comes off. Bam, like that. So once you do that, you're left with the stick. Now, I like to use these sticks for tea. Sometimes you can boil water and maybe cook with them. So don't throw these away. But if you do, also mine compost before throwing away. And then mint, that's here. So the same way, you just hold it at the top or you pick the leaves off because you don't want the stem in there. And then there's basil. So oddly enough, all of these herbs are in the mint family. They're really good for digestion. They have great anti-inflammatory properties. They're good to get rid of the common cold. Your key lime is going to have some vitamin C in it. It's going to help you with your digestion, irritable bowel syndrome, nausea, all that good stuff with a good gut. Also, rosemary actually works on calming down our bodies on a neurological level. Blah. So this is actually what I drink first thing in the morning, and it really makes my gut feel amazing. So I put that in the blender. I like to use spring water or alkaline water. Any water that you normally drink, that's what you're going to want to use with this, because this is a drink. Just like if you're going to get juice or lemonade, you want to use that in here. So if you don't drink the tap water, do not use the tap water in this. And as you can see, I filled it up with herbs. So these are all my herbs in here. I don't measure by any means. I usually do a whole bunch of basil, like the whole actual bunch, and probably half the mint, because usually you're going to get more mint in a bunch than basil. But do what you feel. If you love mint, put more mint in here. If you love rosemary, put more rosemary. This is the concoction of lime juice and ginger. So it's about 9 ounces in here, and of the 9 ounces, about 2 ounces are ginger. Now, ginger is going to give you a little spicy kick in there. If you can't handle it, dial it down and rev it up like you like it. But ginger is really good for inflammation. If you have any like joint pain and you're inflamed anywhere, getting some ginger in your diet will kick that butt and get the inflammation out of you. So make sure you have that. And then I'm choosing agave nectar. Woo! Agave nectar to sweeten. You can use sugar, honey, molasses, if you like that. Honey, I said honey, sorry, agave, anything that's a sweetener you can use in here. I like agave because it's light, and I just prefer the flavor. Now, these particular herbs, they're also good for the skin. They detox the body and the liver. So while you're incorporating these in your diet, you're getting really good detoxing effects, which is, again, why I love to drink it in the morning on an empty stomach. If you're trying to lose weight, it's going to help you do that. If you're familiar with the grapefruit diet, starting your day out with grapefruit because of the acid, it helps clean you out. This is going to do the same with the key limes, but it's a little bit more delicious. And if you guys remember, in the South, my grandma used to brew tea outside. So if you're feeling snazzy, you can also infuse this farther by placing it in a glass jar. Now, if you do this outside, you have to use glass. But if you want to infuse it a little more, you can take the glass, put it somewhere in the sunshine, and let the herbs infuse, and you'll taste the difference. Because of the key lime in it, it is going to keep the mixture a pretty good amount of time. I haven't tested how long yet, to be honest, because usually this whole thing is gone within 4 days in my house. I love it. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and mix it for you guys. My blender is a little loud. She's strong. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And turn it on. All right. So once you blend it, you want to make sure that, and I'm just going to put some of the herbs back in there and blend it a little more, but you want to make sure that the pieces of herbs are as small as possible. The reason being is we're not going to strain this before we drink it. So we're going to liquefy this as much as possible, and that way you're actually getting all of those herbs in there. You can strain it if you want to, but it's really not necessary. And the benefits of getting the herbs in here without straining them, I think, is way better than if you were to strain them. So I'm gonna do this again. Ooh. All right. So I'll put this back down here. So that's the mixture, the base. Now, how much of this you get depends on how much water you put in here. You only have to put as much water that covers it, but it doesn't hurt to put more or less. This container, I think it's about 1 gallon. I think so. So I'm going to pour this in here and shuffle this around. I'm going to pour this in here. And so you see how thick it is? That's why you're going to add water at the end. Don't be like me and forget your spatula, because you're going to want to get all this goodness in here. Now, if you don't scrape this, you can use the residue in here to make other things. Sometimes I like to make cashew cream sauces, and it'll be like a herbal taste on it. So use this if you like it. If you're making something with the herbal taste that's good, you can use the residue in here and you'll be able to taste it. Don't waste the herbs, y'all. All right. And so that's in here. And then we're going to add this concoction, which, remember, this is the lime juice, the key lime juice, and the ginger. Now, ginger I love as well. If you're having menstrual pain, like cramps, if you have diabetes, morning sickness, ginger is also good for those things as well. And the lime, again, rejuvenates your skin as well as the rosemary. So this is a really good way to start your day, in your day, be in your day. It doesn't matter. All right, so I'm mixing that in. And what I'm going to do is add the rest of this water into the mixture. So let me tilt you guys a little here so you can see the measurements. So it's less than halfway full. And I'm just going to add the rest of this in. So you can do this with fruit as well. In the summertime, sometimes I like to puree like pineapples or mangoes, and I'll also add that in here. And you don't have to use these herbs. Use whatever herbs you have. You can use a lavender. It'll make it really refreshing. The only herb that I have used that was a little different was oregano. Oregano is a very strong oil. And if you know, well, excuse me, herb. If you know anything about oregano, it's actually very good to get rid of bacteria. So it's that antimicrobial. I need to get my words right, y'all. But it helps to get rid of bacteria, which is you can use it to sanitize. But because of those properties, it's really strong. So it overtakes the drink with just a little bit of it. So I like to use oregano, but you don't use nearly as much oregano as the amount of herbs you saw in the blender. That's just a heads up. I learned the hard way. We still got through that batch though. So stir it up a little. So like I said, you are going to get froth here. Sometimes I will take it out. Sometimes I don't. When I do take it out, I'll use it to cook with. If you're making rice, you can make herbal rice with this. You can mix it in anything. Anywhere that you want to taste herbs in, you can use that. I'm going to keep it in today. And then this is the agave. So I'm going to pour that in. Now, I probably don't do as much sugar as most people. I like to taste the herbs more. So you taste it as you go and see how much sugar you want in there. I feel like sweeteners are just a pinch. You know, you don't want to overdo it with the sweeteners because then you won't be able to get the herb taste in it. And we got a little bit more of this. So give me 1 second. I gotta go get a cup so I can taste it, y'all. My bad. All right, so I'm gonna taste it and see what this sweetener be like. And as you can see there, it's a dark green and it's really herbal. You can smell all the herbs in there. The mint comes through, the basil is so delicious. I need some more sweetener. So that's another thing with sweetener. You can always do less now, taste it and put more. But once you overdo it, it's done. You can probably add a little bit more water, but it's going to change how that taste is going with the herbs. So always do less sweetener. I can't say that enough. I love this stuff, guys. All right. Let me see. So that's on the money. That's on the money. I think that was about a half or fourth. I'm sorry, about a half or 3/4 of a cup of agave. But that's on the money right there. Do know that I have I take bitters all the time, so my sweetness level is not the same as a lot of people's, but you can figure that out. So again, what you do with this mixture is you can either put it in the refrigerator from now or put it outside and let it brew in the sun. That is going to change your life. And if you don't know, you can brew everything in the sun. If you want to make teas, if you live in an area where the sun comes through, use her, okay? It will infuse your stuff and have it tasting like your grandma then came back and gave you some lemonade for the summertime. So I'm going to cover this up. And before I go, I did want to go over how you can store your herbs to keep them lasting longer. One of the biggest things I get from people is not knowing how to store leafy greens and herbs. And it deters people from buying it because you feel like you're wasting your money. You go, you get it, and 2 days later it's wilted and it's dead and you never get a chance to use it. I'm going to drink this while I'm talking, y'all. This is so good. My friend gave me this recipe and I kind of tweaked it. And you guys can tweak it too. You can put whatever. If you only have lemon, put lemon. If you don't have ginger, that's fine. You can make it spicy with peppers. You can put turmeric root in there. You can do whatever you want. And this is so much better than any store-bought juice or Kool-Aid or soda. Don't kill yourself, love yourself. All right, so I'm gonna leave this here because it's beautiful. And this is actually how I store my herbs. Now, the first way that I store my herbs and my leafy greens that I love is actually just like flowers. So you know when you go and you get flowers, you get the flowers and you cut off the stems diagonal at the bottom, and then you put it in water to help it live. So that's my number one way of storing leafy greens and some herbs. Basil does not do well like that. She's really finicky, y'all. I find that basil, in general, when you get basil, you want to use her. Okay, she wants to be used. So she doesn't store the best. So I like to get a basil plant or definitely store her like this. If you have a herb bunch and you can't really see the roots at the bottom, go ahead and do this. So the roots have to be, you know, just like when you get flowers and the roots come down and they can go in the water. If you're not getting that effect, then putting them in the glass of water is not going to be as effective. So I'll do this. So these are the herbs I had left, which I think is mostly mint, right? So I got this mint a couple of days ago, actually. And so I cleaned it and I dried it. Now, it's important to dry it because herbs don't like to be wet. So you can see, before I use it, I have to pick out this stuff, of course. But usually it's been about 5 days. And if you've ever had mint for 5 days, this looks like a miracle. It's usually all brown and mushy. But instead, what I do, I'm going to take that out. I wash it, I dry it, And then I spread it out on napkins. And then I just roll it up. Just like that. Now you can roll it all up in the napkin together. But the reason why I like this roll, if you can see, the reason why you want the napkin is they're going to have moisture on the herbs in the bag. And so what you're doing is creating a space where all that moisture can get into the napkin. And that's how you make it last. Now, over time, these herbs are going to make the napkin wet. You want to exchange the napkin. It usually takes about 1 to 2 days, but you want to check on it. And if this is really moist or wet, change it. So once you roll it, you take a Ziploc bag and you just put it in there like that on the bottom. And I'm a roller. I like to roll because you don't want air in it. So I roll. I don't know if you can see that. I roll and squeeze. Roll and squeeze. And roll and squeeze. And then I seal it. And then before I do the final seal, I do another squeeze. And there you go. So I stored this in the refrigerator, and it actually has lasted me up to like 7 or 8 days. Now, don't quote me on that, y'all, because y'all might check on your herbs in 7 days and it might be a little mushy. But it'll definitely last 3 to 5 for sure. You hitting on that 7 day and you playing with yourself. But sometimes it does work. So, okay. So yeah, that's about all I got. I just wanted to share this drink with you guys because it's so easy. Like I said, you can use any herbs you want. I'll be talking more about herbs, but say for instance, you want to go to sleep at night. You can do lavender. You could do chamomile. Herbs are literally just plants that are here to help us. And so the more I learn about herbs, the easier it has been to help me get healthy. Herbs have been a very easy way into me changing my lifestyle, into just using more of the earth for my good and for my health. So I think it's a perfect thing to start to incorporate. And also, if you don't grow anything, to start to grow, herbs are absolutely the best to start to grow. You can get basil plants, rosemary plants. You can get them from seedlings, but a lot of places, Home Depot, Walmart, I've seen them in Kroger. You can get the little herb plants and put them in your window and you can pick off of those. Herbs are really, really great to start growing in gardens, inside, in pots. Like they can grow anywhere. So especially right now, it's an important time, of course, to boost your immune system, and herbs really help with that as well. Actually, that's one of the benefits of this concoction. This is an immune boosting concoction as well. And in general, for me, when I start my day with something like this and water versus like a heavy breakfast, I see that my brain is able to pick better solutions throughout the day. I eat better, and it's not something that it just comes a little bit more natural when I start my day with these things. So get herbs into your life. If you guys have any questions, my website is posted. Please visit me. My name is Cherette again. And please visit me at healthynow.com. If you scroll down to the bottom and join the crew, I will be releasing a newsletter every Thursday. And basically, I'll give you guys notes on everything I went over. I'll go into more detail about the herbs we use, and I'll give you guys a few more recipes. This week, I'm going to do basil pesto. I love basil pesto. You can put it on anything and it just makes it pop. tacos, like rice dishes, vegetables, like anything. I love that. So I'm going to give you guys a recipe for that tomorrow. So sign up today and I'll shoot that newsletter out to you guys weekly on Thursday. And it'll just be a continuation of what we talked about here on Wellness Wednesdays. And so that's about it, guys. I really appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'll be back with you guys next Wednesday with some good stuff. All right, I think I'm 5 minutes early. I don't know. What else can I say to you guys about herbs? Oh, here's a fun fact. I smoke with herbs. Now, I smoke Mary. I don't know if I can talk about that here. I don't know. But I actually started having problems with the effects of Mary Jane and just smoking it by itself. And I wanted to bring it down. So I actually do use herbs to smoke as well. So usually I do lavender. Damiana is a relaxant. So Damiana is just like, it makes you like relax. Mullein leaf is an expectorant. So it's actually really good for if you have any congestion in your respiratory. Mullein will expel it out. So it's really good in teas and also as a smoke blend. Sometimes I'll do chamomile. Sometimes I'll do roses. I do roses because I'm a lady and I like them. They taste like roses too. So that's another way I do enjoy herbs so much. And also just how you can take these herbs like this, you can dry out your own herbs to make teas. So let me see if I can get these for you. I'm drying out lavender. So if you've never seen what lavender looks like, here you go. So there's a community garden around the corner from me. And so we went and picked lavender. Oh, it smells so good. So this is dried out. So when I got it, it looked just like the rosemary I showed you guys earlier. And I just let it sit out on the table and dry. And I'm actually going to use this in teas. I'm actually going to roll this up when I get off of here. I'm going to make tinctures. Tincture is a whole nother thing. We can talk about that later. But you can get your own herbs and dry them. If you're at the grocery store and you see something and you want to make a tea out of it, if you are getting herbs and you just don't know what to do with them, you don't have any use for them, and you see that they might go bad because you have too much, just dry it out. With this, you put it in a glass bottle and it stays for months. So you don't have to even use it now, and if you see, there is a lot of wild herbs as well. I know around Atlanta, I can tell you about 6 or 7 spots right now where I can just go and pluck lavender or go and pluck rosemary. And I mean, they're like big wild bushes. When you find herbs out in the wild, they're always in abundance. So when you see them, grab them, as long as they're not in somebody's house or something, because people be funny about that. And bring them home. You can muddle them in drinks. I make a really good drink with rum or with vodka, and you muddle the herbs, the mint, the lavender, put a little lime squeeze in there with a little drink. You can incorporate herbs everywhere. So keep your eyes open, look for the herbs and use them. They're here to help you. So let the herb do what she does best, guys. Okay? So again, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm at my time. I think I did really well, actually. So I don't know, bro. Oh, there you go.
I'm back. I love that. I love that. Yeah. So, we're going to end the broadcast, but stay on for just a minute, okay?
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, guys.
And I think